Hello everyone, peace of Christ to all. In this video we will answer a Muslim. His name is Sayyid Ahsan from Facebook. And you know the Muslims always, because they are desperate, and actually Muhammad himself, because he is coming from a bad family. If you read in my book, I showed you with the proofs and reference that the father of Muhammad was a gigolo or a gigolo, which means he's a boy who got paid for sex. And the Muslims always, all over, when they speak about Muhammad, they speak about the noble family of Muhammad. When the family of Muhammad, they have nothing to do with any kind of noble value or history. Actually, the opposite. Uh, because if Muhammad's father used to get paid for sex, what kind of a noble man he is, you know? In the same time, all of us we knew the history of Muhammad family, that Muhammad himself was dumped from house to house to house because those people they are poor. And actually there's tons of stories showing you that they are poor. And by the way, I'm not saying they are not noble because they are poor, absolutely not. They are poor and they are low class. As an example, the father of Muhammad and the grandfather of Muhammad, both they did marry sisters. Both did marry sisters. Now, how somebody is not a low class would do that? I'm talking about just 1400 years ago. I'm not talking in the time of Noah or the time of Adam and Eve and their children, because there is no other people to marry, or even the time of Abraham. I'm talking about long after that, when there's a huge tribe and there's thousands of people he can choose from. The father and his son, they slept with two women in the same day and the same night. Uh, but anyway, today I'm going to focus about something very important. The reason I'm giving you this background, because we want to understand why Muhammad and the Muslims try to hook up Muhammad to be from Ishmael. And by the way, I want to ask the Muslims, where in the Quran it says that Muhammad is from Ishmael? I challenge all the Muslims. You see, I'm challenging all the Muslims in the world to show me one verse in the Quran where it says that Muhammad is from Ishmael. Now, if Allah did not say that, why Muslims say it? Where they come with this story from? How come Allah in the Quran, He says and He recite names and He tell you who is the fathers of all those prophets? When it's come to Muhammad, He will not tell us who is the prophet, father of this prophet. Because if Muhammad is coming from a prophet family, who is the father of this prophet as a prophet? Actually, all of us, Muhammad, he's coming from a pagan family. This is why the father of Muhammad, he called all his sons pagan names. If we do a little search in the internet, you can go and get all the names of his his uncles, and you will be surprised when you see the names. I will give you just an example. This is IslamWeb.net. This is a very Islamic website, so Muslims don't say. Uh, when they quote for us the names of Muhammad fathers, you will see the following. As an example, Hamza is the cousin of Muhammad. Sorry, is the uncle of Muhammad. In the same time, he was born 4 years before Muhammad's birth. In the same time, Hamza, he is his uncle. But the funny, we remember we said that the father of Muhammad and his father, which means the grandfather of Muhammad, they married two sisters in the same day. Now, as long they did that, how Hamza is 4 years older than Muhammad, when the father of Muhammad, he died right away after he married Amina. It doesn't make sense. This is mean Muhammad, he is the son of no man, unknown man. We do not know who's his father. But anyway, this is not our topic. Uh, Abu Talib. Abu Talib, this is the most important uncle of Muhammad. Abu Talib. And his real name, and look why the Muslims, they don't call him with real name. His real name is Abdu Manaf. Let me make it bigger. Abdu Manaf. Who is Manaf? Is one of the pagan gods. The Muslims, they say to us that the grandfather of Muhammad, he was He was a believer. He followed Abraham. Now, how somebody believe in Abraham, he called his kids, he named his kids the slave of Manaf. Another name of the grandfather of Muhammad, Abu Lahab. And the Muslim, they call him Abu Lahab, but the fact his real name is, as we see in here, Abdul Uzza. Al-Uzza is one of the gods of the three daughters of Allah. So he is a slave of one of the three daughters of Allah, which is the Uzza. Now, how the grandfather of Muhammad is a believer in one God, and he is calling each one of his sons Abdu, etc., Abdu, etc., and all of those are names of pagans. This is a proof the false statement the Muslims they say when they say Muhammad was coming from a noble family. They pray to one God and they worship, and they say to you they are Ahnaf. But the fact they do not know what Ahnaf mean. Ahnaf are not people who worship one God. Anyway, this is we will talk about this in different topic. Now we will focus in why the Muslims they try to connect Muhammad to Ishmael. If the Quran never, ever, nowhere says that Muhammad is descended from Ishmael, nowhere. Why? Where the Muslims coming this from? The fact, let us show you that, this is what they say to you actually. They say the Arab, all of them, they are descended from Ishmael, which is false. Because Ishmael, he did learn Arabic at the age of 14 from the Arab, according to the Muslims, according to Islamic books. Let me show you. This is the official government of Saudi Arabia, government website, the Ministry of Islam. Now we will see in here the history of Ishmael, and we will notice the following in this page. Let me give you the name of the book, Ar-Rawd al-Anif, and this is the page number, so you can go and read exactly there. You can read from between 213 to 215. He's saying there that Ishmael, he did learn the Arabic language from the tribe of Jurhum. Jurhum was a Christian Arab tribe. So how Ishmael is an Arab and he did learn for the first time the Arabic when he was the son of 14. You don't learn your language. This is your language. If you are an Arab, you do not learn Arabic from others. Same time, when they say that Arabs are descended from Ishmael, it's a big fat lie. Let us assume that Ishmael, according to the stories, did marry from an Arabian woman. According to Islamic tradition, the child will belong to the father, which means if the father is not an Arab, the child will not be an Arab. If your mother is an Arab, you will not be considered as an Arab. Very simple like this. This is why, always in the Middle East, Islam speak always that the one who owned the bed, the child belong to it. The child belong to the one who owned the bed. Even if your wife have sex with 100 men, and she get pregnant from many men, not yours, not from you. At the end in Islam, the bed owner is the one who is going to be, the child belong to him. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, and you will see in here that doesn't matter who is the real father. It is who own the bed, which means the husband, who have the legal authority over the bed. And the funny, Islam refuse adoption and accept a son to be your son, even if he is not your son. Isn't this adoption? Because if your wife, she is sleeping with others, and then just because you are the one who own the bed, and by the way, owning the bed in here, it's not about just owning a physical mattress. It's about owning the right of the bed. He have the right over this bed, which means that woman. So whatever she lay as she gave birth, or eggs, let us say it this way, because Islam considers them as eggs, the man who owned that woman, he owned the babies too, which is really adoption, because those are not his sons. He have nothing to do with them. And at the same time, Islam refused adoption, which is a contradiction in Islam. So anyway, always the son belonged to his father. Now, is the father of Ishmael was an Arab? Absolutely not. Abraham was an Aramaic. So what he have to do with the Arab? Nothing. Now, if Ishmael did marry an Arab woman, as we proved to you, that he cannot be, or his children, they cannot belong to the Arab, they will belong to him. But let us assume they are mixed with the Arab. Still, that will not make them an Arab for a very simple reason, because always the child will follow his father, and the father follow the father. So if I could not make my first son Arab like the Arab, but he is not an Arab like Ishmael, how the second son or the third son will be an Arab anyway? Because it doesn't matter how many women you marry after that, you are still descendant of your father, and your name belongs to him. Your name, your ethnic, even your religion have to do with your father. This is what the Muslims believe. Now, uh, explain all those stories about Ishmael and how Ishmael he learned Arabic at the age of 14. That proved that he cannot be an Arab and he had nothing to do with the Arab. He moved between the Arab, but I moved between the American. I get a citizenship, but doesn't make me a native American. Even if I live in here and die in here, and my children live in here and die in here, doesn't matter. Still, after all, we will say originally we are from etc. etc. place. Originally we are etc. It doesn't matter. So the Muslims, they like and they love to attach their Prophet Muhammad to Ishmael just because Muhammad is bankrupt. All prophets of God from the Jews, he had to find a place. He had to find something good. His family, they are bad. His father was a gigolo. His grandfather is an idol worshipper. His uncles, all of them, they are idol worshippers. So he don't have anything good around him. He'd been forced to marry Khadija because he was so poor, just to make money, just to make living, so he can live like a human being. So the idea of Ishmael in Islam is just to prove to us that Muhammad have legitimate line of the father of the prophets, so he can be a prophet too, to make you accept him. And actually any Christian, any church, because many, by the way, many of the Christians, they copy and paste. The Muslims say Muhammad from Ishmael, the Christian, they copy and say Muhammad from Ishmael. This is based in the ignorance of many Christians. There is nowhere in the Bible and nowhere in the Quran it says Muhammad from Ishmael. Period. Now, after all of this, let us go and ask very serious questions about Muhammad and Ishmael. In chapter 29, verse number 27, look what the God of Islam he said. You can open any translation you want. Yusuf Ali, whatever you want. And we gave Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and ordained among his progeny prophethood and revelation. Now let us concentrate in this verse. All of us, we knew that the oldest son of Abraham is Ishmael. So why Allah he jumped Ishmael, he dropped him, and he mentioned Isaac and Jacob, and right now he's speaking about the prophethood? It's a very clear mistake, because in different verse Allah he says that Ishmael is a prophet. So why he is not counting Ishmael as a son of Abraham? If Allah wanna say, look, if Allah in here counting one name, I will say he wanted to count one name. He decided to count his children.